There's a really big opening here. Kind of grown up, but if you get up here, you can watch for a while. See deer moving through the brush. But I don't want them hearing me. It's so crunchy, so I'm just going to go slow. Alright, for those of you that don't know anything about muzzleloader hunting, I'll show you. You have propellant, whether it's black powder or a synthetic one. This one's 777 loose powder. I shoot 100 grains of it. So I put it in this little tin so that I can pour it into the powder measure. And this gives me exactly 100 grains when I fill this up. And then to make it more exact, this slides over and cuts it off at exactly 100 grains. And then I pour the extra back in the tub. I cap it up and I put a belt away. I actually left this out one time with the cap off while hunting this property. It was no big deal, but it was snowing out, so a little bit got in there, and that's why I bought this bottle. Well, I kind of blocked that. Sorry about that. This is the bullet, and this is the sleeve, the sabot or sabot, whatever people say. I have an indicator mark on this ramrod right here telling me whether it's fully seated or not. That's important. Get the bullet fully seated against the powder that's in there. It's important for pressure buildup. And I put the ramrod back away. And when I'm ready to walk, I'll cap it. So I'll be putting a primer in this spot right here. It's not considered loaded right now, although practically it is. The ignition source is not in it. Well, here we go. So I prime my inline muzzleloader with this. It's a little bit crunchy again today, which is why I decided to do this first. let things warm up and maybe I'll go tracking. If I get a deer here, I'm going to load it up in the truck and go to another spot. Lots of coyote and fox tracks. These are all fox here, but there was one set of coyote back there. I have a shooting stick that I usually bring, and I left it in the truck. I have a feeling I might regret that. The very first time I hunted this property, I left my truck and I walked to this spot and I shot a deer right over here. Yeah, there's fox and coyote tracks here fresh. They only want one doe killed off this property at this point. So if I can maximize my tag by getting a bigger one, or at least a medium one, we're good. So I might be a little bit picky here. The wind is not supposed to be doing this. The wind is swirling. Right now it's cutting back to what I want to watch. It's supposed to be just coming like this off of this hill, but the hills change things. Change the flow of the air. The breeze was just blowing in my face like it's supposed to be. And it just came from behind me, swirled all the way through here. And you can see it's going up, which in no way, shape, or form helps me. On this piece of property. I hear something walking over here. There's a tree stand over here. Ideally, I would be climbing into it. But with this crunchiness, I don't dare go much further. I've got deer over here. Yeah, there's a whole slew of them. I've got them feeding towards me right now. The only one of the group of 8, they were leaving this property. I'm blessed to get it. Well, I wanted to do a video of quartering the deer and packing it out, but I'm such a short distance from my vehicle, couple, I don't know, 300 yards or so, and I want to keep hunting. And if I use up my game bags, then I can't go to the next spot, which will be a long ways, and pack it up. So hopefully I get another deer for you today or this season, and I can show that process. So New York has a new process for deer, and apparently you can e-tag them, which I've done for 2 already. But I also fill out the paper tag just so I don't get confused about which tags I've shot, which ones I haven't. The problem with this one today is that it made me download the app, and I've already reported a couple deer through my phone, so I downloaded it. I'm on the process right now of answering it. It would be a problem for me if I couldn't download it. Okay. It worked. It wasn't a big deal, but it did tell me that there was an error and it failed to work and I needed to sign in, and then immediately told me that it I have a deer right here. There's a deer. There's 2 deer standing next to me. Walked right up to me. Little tiny one. I would keep shooting deer, but he told me one. There was 2 there, a big doe and a little doe. Anyway, it told me that it worked, or didn't work, and then it told me it worked. So I'll check on that later, but I'm also going to fill out this other tag. Easy peasy. Well, I'm pretty pleased. This is my 3rd doe that I've gotten, and none of them were giants. So I'm doing all right. I'd like to get another deer or 2 for the freezer. If I can shoot myself a buck or a nice doe, then I'm probably at my max, although sometimes I'll keep hunting and shoot deer for other people. But I'm actually going to keep hunting today. I'm going to take this thing back, put it in my truck, and go hit some state land nearby. There's no reason to stay loaded here. So I took my primer off. Hi there. It was 15 degrees out when I left the house this morning, and it looks like now it's 27. Probably about the time I came in here it was approaching 20, and I'm in the truck warming up. But I'm going to move to another spot because I got one here, as you've seen in the video or have already seen. But summarize everything. I came up here. It's the first time hunting private in a while. I did hunt private with my son one day for part of a morning, but otherwise it's been about a month. It seems like, anyway. It all blends together. So I came up knowing how to hunt these deer, and I used the wind to my best of my advantage, but the wind kept swirling, and lucky I didn't get busted here. There were 8 deer coming down off the hill within range, but a lot of junk in between me and them, and they were headed to a private property. And another property adjacent, and I wanted to shoot them to give myself a buffer so that if it continued on towards that property, I didn't have to go talk to the landowner. So the one that gave me the best opportunity wasn't the biggest doe, but it's a medium-sized doe, so I'm happy with that. There were just a ton of deer. While I was taking care of this deer, other ones were wandering around me, and the property owner only wanted me to take one doe this year. So that didn't take me long. It took me about, 45 minutes. And I'm gonna go up to some local state land and see if I can track a deer now that things are warming up. That went according to plan. Alright, it's still crunchy. I'm trying to play the wind here. So I went to the least impactful side of the state land, and the wind keeps swirling, just like the other place. But if I don't bump anything along here, then I got really good hunting, kind of crosswind and maybe into the wind. And I'm hoping to cut some tracks or see some deer in the distance feeding towards me or otherwise. That's my plan. Looks like this weekend they pushed this property, so I might not have much success. It is time. I haven't seen a track in about an hour. So I'm going to crack into this, my last one, and I'll get into some deer. Well, the Christmas tree cake did in fact work. I'm not going to show it in this video. I'm going to wrap things up here. I'm splitting this day into two parts because there was actually three parts to the day. Quick still hunt where I got the doe, this tracking session which lasted the bulk of the day, and then an afternoon sit where I ended up getting a decent buck this afternoon. But I'm going to end this here and pick up from here with my next video. Thanks for coming along, and just make sure you get outside. Enjoy it.